Hobby led Van to his dorm, where they had lived for some days. Van's memory about the incident in their apartment was destroyed. That's why it was a win-win situation for Hobby to bring her in the dorm. Hobby unlocked the door and welcomed Van with a smile of satisfaction. Welcome, Van. Van. Ne Ghamsa me the sense name. Van was looking around the dorm. She could feel the homely atmosphere, the warmth. Hobby actually wanted to hug her tightly right after she entered into the dorm, but he knew he wasn't in the position. Hobby, Van, do you need something? Van, I don't know, but it feels like I've stayed here. Hobby, it's Dr. Storm. Its architecture and interiors are different from the students' dorm. But all the Dr. Storm's architecture and interiors are same. Perhaps you might have lived in this kind of dorms with your parents, cause that's the most probable thing that can be happen with you. Internally, Hobby was jumping in joy as she expressed her views after entering into the dorm. When Chansungnim, it looks like a one-bedroom apartment. So, Hobby, you are the patient one. The bed is all yours. When? Are you sure? But where are you gonna sleep tonight? Hobby, in the studies, I guess. Though Hobby said this her in one go, but he was still doubting if Van can sleep without him or not. Even during her hospital stays, she had difficulty to sleep peacefully until she felt Hobby's warmth. Because of the disease, her memory with Hobby was definitely been destroyed, but his existence in her everyday life, it was like she was habituated with his presence, his fragrance, his embrace. Though she couldn't recognize him visually, but in her subconscious mind, she had preferred to choose him. It was Jiu who confirmed the fact. One night, it was Jiu who chose to stay by her side. Though she was aware of Van's actions during sleep, she couldn't control her, couldn't calm her down. But as soon she was in Hobby's embrace, she was calmed down. Van came out from the bedroom. Hobby, do you want something? Van, I think I have no clothes. Can you please? Hobby gulped down his happiness and tried to maintain his poker face. A t-shirt? You can have it from the cupboard. Van, do you really don't want to inform your dad? Van, Sensonim, I want to say I'm too tired today. I want to sleep. I can fake yawn too, but the reality is I don't want to inform my father and my mother had passed away. I just wanted to be honest with you. I can't remember how my behavior was as a student in your class, but this is the real Van in her life. Hobby. Okay. But it's already time for the bed, so you should not be stressed about it. You can stay as long as you want. I will not ask you for your family anymore. And Van, can you please wake up early in the morning? Van, I'll try to. Hobby, have you taken your medicine? Van, yeah, I have. Hobby, good night then. Go to bed. Hobby knew that Van was not gonna be able to fall asleep without him, and it was something that he was eagerly waiting for. Still, he had to move himself to the study room. Hobby switched off the lights and closed the door before moving out from the room. Hobby entered into the study room. He was about to throw his phone on the table, but he noticed that it vibrated. Incoming call of Dr. Lee. Hobby, 여보세요. Dr. Lee, Young, I'm sorry for calling you at this late at night, but Hobby, did you? Dr. Lee, no. She's asleep. I was thinking about Van's treatment. It may increase if it's left untreated. Hobby. So, we need to find a good psychiatrist? Dr. Lee Young. I've sent you the list of best psychiatrists, but Hobby, but what? Dr. Lee Young. I don't know how to say or why I am saying this, but I personally think that you should try your best to make her remember that you are her husband. I still feel a little insecure as patients usually depends on the psychiatrist. So, you know, Hobby, you are making it complex, Dr. Lee. Don't overthink. Dr. Lee, I have sent you the list. I hope you will choose wisely. Hobby, can we meet tomorrow at hospital? Dr. Lee, there's gonna be a seminar on psychology. Most of the doctors gonna attend that. I'm planning to attend that as an audience. Will you go with me? Hobby, okay. See you tomorrow. Dr. Lee, good night, young. Hobby, good night. Hobby could hear Van's movement from the studies. He rushed to the bedroom and saw Van was trying to sleep, but he knew what to do. He just laid down on the bed and soon Van grabbed his body. Hobie's right arm was stretched and soon he could feel Van's head on his biceps. She wrapped her arm around his waist tightly. Remove your t-shirt. It's disturbing. She pulled his t-shirt upward and shook his body a little, insisting him to remove that completely. She was still sleeping. Hobie could feel that she hadn't removed her. He wanted to unhook it, though it was mainly his duty to do that, but that night he didn't dare to. Hobie, while kissing her hairs, don't make it tough for me. I know you can recognize me, but okay. He tried to calm down, closing his eyes, placing his goodnight kiss on her forehead. He closed his eyes and soon he fell asleep. In the morning, Van was still sleeping peacefully in Hobie's embrace. Hobie just awoke and carefully untangled himself from her and headed towards the washroom after placing his good morning kiss on her forehead. Soon, Van opened her eyes. She could feel the source of her comfort had gone. She could feel that she was missing someone badly. She was upset but couldn't figure out whom was she missing. She got up and after washing up went towards the studies and glanced at Hobie. He was sleeping peacefully there. Van waited some time in the dining area. Van was afraid of the fact that Hobie might be late for his work as he told her to wake up early in the morning. She got up and went to the studies. Looking at his face, she didn't want to wake him up but sensing him Van tried to wake him but no response from the other side. Van sat beside his side and instinctively started making strike through his hairs with her short fingers. Hobie could feel her touch and soon opened his eyes. One was in front of him. He assured himself that he was in the studies by looking around. One, I didn't want you to be late, that's why. And I've tried to wake you up, but internally, Hobie was cursing himself for opening his own eyes as he wanted to be kissed by her for a little more. He asked her in sleepy voice, what's the time? When it's 6 o'clock in the morning, I thought you would need time to get ready. That's why. Hobie was actually surprised as the lazy Van who used to enjoy her early morning sleep. She was already freshened up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Hobby had always wished this, but when it really happened, he didn't want it to be happen anymore. He desperately wanted his lazy, messy, careless Van back. Van, Sansangnim, please get up. I have prepared some porridge for breakfast actually. Hobby, what? You know how to cook? Van, I haven't tasted it. Hobby, how are you feeling? Van, good. They headed towards the kitchen. Hobby, I will be free at evening. Let's go somewhere together. Van, where? While serving him the bowl of porridge. Hobby, wait for me in the home. Hobby gulped down the porridge thinking that it would be horrible, but when he tasted it, it was not better than his cooking, but it was easily consumable, much better than his imagination. How did you learn cooking? He asked in exclamation. When Sensangnim, my shoulder was injured, but why I can't remember everything? Hobby, tell me, what can you remember? When I remember we used to be three, then we became four, Jew, and then Upanim joined us. I and you used to be pampered and often got scolded by that person. The person was like mother bird. All I miss now is the presence of the person in my life. When I was in the hospital, I could feel that person's presence while sleeping. Even today, I felt like I was in his embrace and it was so comfortable. Then he left me and his warmth wasn't replaceable. I wanted to sleep a little bit more, but he means a male? When I think I should stop talking, Hobby. Please arrange something for me to wear from the cupboard. When for hospital, Hobby. I'm gonna attend a seminar with Dr. Lee, but as an audience. When okay. Hobby quickly finished his portion of food. He wanted to know if Van's choice for his clothing are still same or has been changed, and of course, he wanted to be cured by Van. Van walked towards Hobby. Sansonim, why don't we choose basic black and white combination? Hobby smiled. Arasa. Hajiman, help me with the tie. Hobby wanted to know if she remembers how to knot a tie. It was something he had taught her. Being obedient to his wife, Hobby put on the black formal trousers and white shirt, and it was time for the tie. When, let me try. She walked towards him and stood just a few steps distant from him. She put on the tie and started tying the knot. Please guide me a little. Hobby's heart started beating faster, and this time he was confused because he wanted her to successfully complete the task. At the same time, he wanted to grab her waist and pull her towards him. He wanted to hug her badly. He put his hands in the pockets to refrain himself from doing that. And Van was successful. Van remembered how to knot a tie. Soon Van got ready and they left for the med school together, and right before the back gate of the university they waved each other and headed towards their respective ways. And Hobby met Yungi. Yungi, wow, you are also going to attend the seminar? Good. And how is Van? Hobby, but why are you going to attend this seminar? Yungi, I am the only witness of your marriage. I should attend this seminar for that little kid after all. Hobby. You know, that little kid even remember how to cook porridge. Yungi. That's so basic. No one need to remember that. All one needs is instinct to make porridge. Hobby. What's about the knot of this tie? How is it? Yungi looked at his tie. It's perfect. Hobby. Yes. She was a little nervous, but she did it. She even remembered how to knot a tie, and I taught her that. How could she forget me? Yungi, really? Even in her subconscious mind? Hobby, no. She can't even fall asleep properly after having benzodiazepines. She needs me to fall asleep, and today morning, not morning. It was very early in the morning. I got up and went to the studies. I was thinking that she might feel embarrassed if she found herself in my arms, but Jiu was selected as an assistant of Yoongi. She just arrived to report, but the situation was a little different. Yoongi gestured Jiu to be quiet. But, Hobby, in the morning, while we were having breakfast, Wen told me that she had felt empty and cold. That's why she woke up. Can you believe she can't fall asleep by herself, but she couldn't recognize me? Yoongi, I think her condition will improve, but still, I think we need to take professional psychiatrist's help in this case. What do you think, Assistant Jiu? Jiu. But don't you think Yoongi Oppa needs to push himself a little bit more to express his love? Yoongi, you know Jiu? He kissed on her forehead at their wedding. Jiu, Yoongi Oppa, how did you enjoy the wedding then? Don't you think Oppa should be more romantic this time? Yoongi, of course. Van deserves that. He was always extra rude and tough towards her. Hobby, yeah, you all are only blaming me and asking only about Van. Gio, sorry Oppa, how are you? Hobby, Gio, you know, she even remembered that we used to be three, and after you got married with Dr. Lee, we became four. I had asked her who was the fourth member. She replied that she couldn't remember. Isn't it frustrating? Geo, honey, the best part is she can feel your existence, but she is unable to recognize that the person is you. Oppa, I'm going to make it harder for you. You have to give me permission for clubbing tonight. Hobby, go and ask your husband. Hobby actually noticed Dr. Lee to enter into the cabin, and Dr. Lee also heard the latest part of the conversation. Young, my alcohol tolerance level is poor. That's why I told her to ask you, how could you? Yoongi, okay, Jiu, you can't go for clubbing tonight. Jiu, Oppa, I will tell when. How did you drug Oppa and Yoongi? I mean, to say that you should wait for the weekend and we'll go together. Dr. Lee, really young? Hobby, being frustrated. Don't you think we should go